Here's a simple thing. Every place you're at and everything you're doing should serve your purpose. For us, when we moved to Germany, like I moved to Germany essentially, that served us a purpose, and that was that we were able to get our studies done without any kind of big hassle and so on. When I was doing my internship, that served the purpose because that was a very, very fancy company and they made some of the best structures on the planet. So I was really, really passionate about that, and that's how I did an internship in Germany during my bachelor's. Then afterwards I moved there for master's because again the studies was completely for free. And then afterwards I started my business there because again I cannot do anything else as long as I'm a student there. I cannot like leave the country, I cannot go anywhere else and so on. Then afterwards we thought, what's the next best decision we can make? We decided, all right, like, we started taking a look at houses in Germany. We were taking a look at that time. It was like 140,000 euros for a shitty apartment in a very sketchy neighborhood. So we're like, we're not doing that. No, actually, we were not even thinking that. We actually were considering it. We're like, okay, interesting. Like, at least like we will have a real estate and it is like close to Alina's grandparents and stuff, so families nearby, things like that. So we started with all of these ideas and we were like, yeah, like that's the best possible thing we can do. But all of a sudden we decided like maybe how about we take a look at the island where we got married there. So we were like, why not we take a look at the island? How is the properties there? So like then we found a very, very nice deal on one house which was 2,400 square meters and stuff, and 200 square meters of built up area, and we added almost like 50 square meters of built up area inside the house. So that was very interesting. And like this we did like as soon as my master's was getting finished. So we're like, okay, master's getting finished, so now it's time that we have some kind of like location freedom, right? So you also have to decide if you are able to move to another place which is going to serve your purpose a little bit better. For us at that time was wealth building. So I was like, okay, like if you have a real estate, like that definitely adds to your wealth, and that is something that we will be able to rent to other people. That means that is going to be one additional income generating asset that we don't have to worry about, right? But of course, like many things in life, I was wrong because on 16th November 2019, we took over the house in Denmark, and like within just 45 days, like all the entire COVID drama started, and right towards the end of January, like just everything was closed down. And that was not nice because our entire idea of the house was that we are going to pool in all of our money and we are going to put it inside this house and we are going to make it ready, we are going to make it fancy, and we are going to start renting this place out to people so that we are able to make some kind of income on the side. So the house plan definitely didn't work out. Yeah, we were able to rent it out in 2020 actually. We were able to rent it out towards the summer for I think a few days or something, and that already like gave us some kind of money back, but the house ate a lot of our money. Right? But like again, that was the best possible thing we could do. Like we could not buy an apartment where we are living on our own, and we also cannot rent it out to other people all the time. This house, it had two separate portions, so we were able to live on one side and we were able to rent out the other side, and it is on an island. So this is always going to be something lucrative, especially if you're able to like organize things nicely, if you're having the cleaning staff, things like that, who take care of the house. We were able to do all of that now, but like not at that time. We were like had to be there. We were like cleaning the house after every single guest was leaving, and we would have only 5 hours. So what Alina used to do was Alina would like clean the house and like take care of the bed sheets, things like that. I would spend my time on cleaning the grill, the barbecue grill, because man, like I just find it so much bigness that people like use something and they don't clean it afterwards, because like that's kind of like is considered a normal habit. But most people wouldn't do that. So every single time like a guest would leave, like I have to spend a lot of my time cleaning the grill, to the point where I was like, we maybe shouldn't offer it at all. But Elena was like, yeah, but like, this is an important selling point. Like you need to have a barbecue grill if you're having such a big garden and stuff, because people want to barbecue when they're there during the summers and so on. We went through all of those times, and like Denmark served the purpose that we were like, having another property that we were able to afford at that time back in 2020. Then in 2021, like business really started exploding, and we were like, okay, what serves us the purpose now? Like, like staying in Germany doesn't make really sense, because we already paid 100,000 euros in taxes. That kind of covers more than what I would have paid in tuition fee from my university, or any kind of like public services I would have used from the German government. So I don't have any kind of guilty conscience that I use the German government's money or I use the German taxpayers' money. I think like I paid them more than I actually used from the German state. So that happened, and like in 2021 we were like, what is going to make more sense? So every single year, like towards the new year, like we are going to like reevaluate everything we are doing, and we are going to think, is this the direction we are taking, like is the right one, or can we reevaluate and can we like change our surroundings, we can change the location, we can change what we are doing, and we can do something better which is going to serve us the long-term purpose. So in 2021 we decided, all right, like it's just like way too much of these taxes. Like if we would be living in Germany, the amount of wealth that we would gather together in 10 years would be the money that we would gather together with like 1% tax rate or something in just, I think, 2 years or something. So I was like, yeah, that kind of like definitely makes sense to make this move. So we decided in our Volkswagen Caddy, which is actually like it's a horrible looking car, but it is very, very practical. So I don't want to hate on our car. That was the first car that we ever bought for 10,000 euros, and we had to take a loan for that. Like that's the ridiculous thing that I found. Like I have to take a loan for a 10,000 euro car because the business was so shit at that time, and we were of course both employees, and we were paying almost 300 euros per month back for the car. And then afterwards we bought the car off, and we moved to Romania and stuff because we had to register it there, and you cannot like keep the loan running from a German bank in Romania. So we bought the car off, and then afterwards we moved to Romania. And we gathered all of our cats, Sabu and Nila, and we went to Bucharest. We rented an apartment there, we started the company and so on. And I'm not going to lie, like Bucharest felt really weird in the starting few days because we were like so used to like living on the countryside, like where you have just like really, really beautiful scenery everywhere. You have like such beautiful waters, the fields, such nice people and so on. And all of a sudden like you go to Bucharest, which is a proper like big city, and like big city vibes, and of course like people are like kind of indifferent to you, things like that. So that was something interesting, but at the same time we were like, this definitely makes more sense because we found some really, really good consultants. Like this is the exact same consultant, tax consultant I work with when I help you guys to establish your companies in Romania. So if you don't know about it, you can take a look at the website myromaniancompany.com, and there you are able to contact my accountant directly, who helped me, who is running my business, and I'm also like very, very happy, and without any kind of hesitation I can recommend it to you because I'm using it myself. Like I wouldn't really recommend you something that I'm not using myself. So I'm really happy so far. It's been almost like, it will be 2 years next month in February that we have been running the companies in Romania. My wife, she's also running her own company in Romania. So all of that's very nice. Tax has increased this year a little bit. So like we were paying like 1% tax on the entire revenue, 5% on dividends, so 6% tax total. And now we are going to be paying like 1% tax on revenue still, and we are going to pay 8% tax on dividends. So like it goes towards 9%, but again, it's still the cheapest in EU. And then another thing which happens is the revenue limit drops. So it went from €1 million, like you can pay up to €1 million 1%, to 500,000. But again, like when we take a look at all of the pros and cons of living in Romania versus living in Dubai or something, like just Romania makes so much more sense to us all the time because it is in the European Union. We are able to quickly travel from one country to the other one with the car, and that was very interesting. But like that's the funny thing, like we moved with this Caddy, like which was like such an inexpensive car. Like we took a loan and everything for that because again that made the most sense at that time. And now afterwards when I bought the Porsche, like I didn't have to take a loan for that and I could just buy it right off. Like that's such a crazy thing, how life can change if you're constantly at every single step reevaluating your decision and you're thinking like if this is the right decision I'm making. Because sometimes you have to kind of be a little bit bullheaded and push for things even if they are not working for a while. But I would really say that maybe a good time period for that is anywhere from like 3 to 6 months when you're like focusing on one single direction and you're really trying to push in that. And if in 3 months or 6 months things are still not working, either you have to change your approach or you have to find something new. Because I think 3 to 6 months is enough time. Like you don't have infinite time in your life. So I don't really believe the philosophy of like, yeah, you have to keep pushing, you have to keep pushing, you have to keep pushing. Yeah, you push for a while, you give it your all, but if you see that this thing is not working, you quit that project, you start something new. I've seen that so many times. So I run this like online academy called Big Academy, where we have courses related to teaching German, about like how do you study in Germany, how do you find jobs in Germany. We have some German stories there, which are all super interesting. And like these are first of all the most affordable courses, German learning courses that you will ever find online, which are like properly structured, because if you go to Udemy and stuff, yeah, of course you can find a course for €9, but it's not a course that is going to teach you A1 completely, and that's just going to be some like tourist beginner German or something. But our levels are designed in a way that like you're having one level done like properly with the exam preparation towards that. So that's the kind of direction we went in, and we saw that like there were so many products that we tried to launch which absolutely didn't work, and it was learning experience. We tried so many things, and some things would work out, other things wouldn't work out. So that's a part of the process. Like that is something that you have to do, but like you only do it for 3 to 6 months, and then afterwards you find something new. Same with the countries. Like now we saw that like when we are living in Europe during the winters, like our energy really goes down, gets depressing, and we don't want to work, we don't want to do anything, and that's why we decided, all right, this time we are going to go for winters to Thailand. And like we joined a boxing camp there, and I started learning Russian. It's been I've taken 30 classes so far, and almost 30 hours of self-work, so I would say around like 60 hours, which should put me somewhere around like half of A1 level. So I'm able to like understand some very, very tiny basic words. I lost 11 kilograms of weight here. Then afterwards we launched 2 new products, the Fast German Stories, which was also very interesting. We always try to launch something on New Year's, so we launched that on New Year's just yesterday. So we did all of these things, and like if I really see the amount of work I did in the last 4 weeks in Thailand, where the sun is like 30, like the temperature is 30 degrees and sun is shining all the time, compared to what I did in the last 5 months in Germany, it's a day and night difference. And that's why I also believe like sometimes you have to try to be location independent so that you can go from one place to the other place without any kind of headache, without any kind of drama, and you are able to be more productive. Because I'm pretty sure like when you're like, we are in this boxing camp and like we stay there, you cannot sleep in the morning, you cannot like sleep in, because you're hearing these fighting noises all the time. You're hearing the music, and you're hearing like people fighting and stuff, and that will make you not get lazy at all. And once you go out and like you train, like afterwards you're anyways like full of adrenaline, and afterwards you definitely want to like, you know, you cannot sleep. It's very difficult. So like you're even more active, and then afterwards you start pushing, you start recording videos, you start working on new projects, you start reading, things like that. And that, I think like the last 4 weeks was really one of the most productive time in my life that I've had so far. The same was true when we went to Turkey last year. Last year, Turkey, we were not like enjoying over the New Year's or something. We worked through the New Year's to launch this product, the Faster German courses. And that was again one of the most productive time of our life, because we were going to the gym, we were eating clean, and we were in Turkey, which was again warmer than Europe. So like every single time during the winters, we were like kind of trying to get away. But again, the point is not like, you know, me bragging that like, yeah, we are like going away from the winters, we are like location independent and stuff. Like I also had times, like nobody can forget, you cannot forget that I was also a student. I was also living in Germany over the winters and stuff. We also spent like many winters like that. Same with Denmark and so on. But then afterwards, when you build yourself up to a state where you're able to be location independent, that makes the most sense. Like, why wouldn't you do that? That makes no sense that you like keep on staying in a place when you have the option of going somewhere else, when you can be more productive there, when you can work on your own goals, when you can just be a little bit more free, have more time for yourself. That should be the end goal for anybody. That's the most important thing. That's something that you should be working towards. So that's something I wanted to share with you, because right now we're in Singapore. I will never see such a beautiful view again. I think it's such an unreal city. When I was coming here, I was like, yeah, like maybe it's like too hyped. Everybody's talking about Singapore a little bit too nicely. That's how I always think. I'm always having something in my negative list first before it gives me reason to. It's like you're my enemy until you do something good for me, and then you're my friend. And I was seeing that this is also a proper like Russian philosophy, which was so funny to me. So like you're always in my negative list first before you do something good, and then you're in the positive list. So that was a story with Singapore, and it was so funny like when I came here that the city is so beautiful. It feels like the West, but just a little bit better. So we are definitely very, very happy to be here, and I decided to make this video so that I can also share with you like what kind of maybe life path takes you into different kind of places, how much time you should be spending on doing one thing, when is the time to reevaluate, and when is the time to kind of like, you know, move locations. Because many times you're underestimating how much just simply moving from one place to the other place can do good for you, compared to just staying in the same place complaining about the same things, because that is not going to change anything. For us, one of the biggest steps that we did was, at that time we were having 20,000 euros per year. That was the year 2019, and Alina and combined were making like around 20 to 24,000 euros per year. And our business coach, like my business coach, charged me 5,000 euros, and I was so impressed about it. I was like, this is 25% of our yearly income that this guy wants from me. Like, how ridiculous is it? Like, I really thought like he's the shittiest person on the planet, blah blah, like how can he take so much money from me? But I really underestimated, like, if I'm putting such a big investment to somebody, like, that is going to make me work with all my like energy, with all of my soul, to get something done out of that particular thing. And that's exactly what happened. Like, that was the best money I ever spent. Because of that, things run the way they run right now. And like, this is going to be one of the guys I'm going to be like always grateful for finding, because if I didn't found him, if I didn't look for him, if like we didn't start working together, none of this would have worked out. None of this like location freedom and stuff, it wouldn't. I mean, we were doing pretty bad before we met him. So yeah. So sometimes you have to like make these like big ass like jumps where you're super uncomfortable, but you know, you cannot keep living the same life. You have to figure out a way to change things so that you can be happier. If you're happy with what you're doing, of course, like, you know, no means I'm nobody to tell you like, you know, what to do. But if you are somebody who think like life can be a little bit better, this video was for you.